Studio 31.
A local church celebrates the last Sunday of the year. And it's the day after Christmas. We see what brings people out to shop. Plus, a man known for his work as an anti-apartheid and human rights activist has died.
And the chance of showers continues overnight, but stay tuned. We'll talk more about it in the full forecast ahead.
Now, from West Tennessee's News Channel, this is 7 Eyewitness News at 5:30.
Good evening. Thank you for joining us. I'm Diamond Williams. We begin tonight at 5:30 with one local church celebrating the first Sunday after Christmas. WBBJ-7 Eyewitness News reporter Jeremy Jackson has more on the story.
St. Paul Christian Methodist Church hosted a candle lighting today to celebrate the first Sunday after Christmas as well as the last Sunday of 2021. Church officials said that they wanted to share their blessings with the city of Jackson.
We're here to serve the community and do what we can to lift spirits in such a time as this.
Pastor Bass also says it's important to give thanks as a congregation and as a community.
We remember Christmas, and we remember that Jesus Christ is the reason for this Christmas season. And so we will celebrate that.
While others say they're just happy to be alive to experience moments like this.
To say thank you, to celebrate in the birth of Jesus Christ, just simply that we are so blessed and thankful that we are here on this day after Christmas.
Wilson says she participated because she wanted to help serve the community after or during any holiday.
That's what the church is supposed to be all about, giving back, serving those of your community, to be servant leaders, and just to help wherever help is needed.
In Jackson, Jeremy Jackson, WBBJ-7 Eyewitness News.
Church leaders say they have no plans for New Year's, but will continue to host their weekly service. After spending the holiday with friends and family, few shoppers took time to hit the stores to make some after-Christmas purchases and returns. Many people use this day to exchange or return a product that they may not like or might need a bigger or smaller size. Some shoppers use this opportunity to spend some of the money they received on Christmas holiday. Some purchase makeup, soccer apparel, jewelry, and more.
I had a little extra money and I wanted to spoil her a little bit day after Christmas. That way she could pick out some shoes that she's been wanting for forever now.
So. What were those shoes?
Timberland heels.
Shoppers continue to celebrate their holiday weekend as they seek those holiday deals. Before getting ready for Christmas Day, some churches brought in the Christmas holiday with prayer. Soul Quest Church held a Christmas Eve celebration with special guests from Santa and Frosty the Snowman. This service is held every year the day before Christmas to worship and remind visitors and members why they celebrate the Christmas holiday. Attendees got to enjoy different musical numbers along with the sermon about the birth of Christ.
This is our annual Christmas Eve service. We do this every year. We just love coming together on Christmas Eve. It's a great time. Some people might think that people won't come to church on Christmas Eve, but you saw this service was packed out.
Soul Quest Church hopes everyone had a very Merry Christmas.
Well, good evening, West Tennessee. It looks like we've had one dreary end of our weekend here across the region with those misty-like rain showers continuing since this morning and leaving us with some pretty cloudy conditions, but doesn't look like it'll be ending anytime soon. Those rain conditions are really going to be lasting into the start of the week, but our temperatures are going to be remaining in those 60s and 70s. 66 for that high today, Joe. Just a little bit cooler than we were yesterday and still in those mid-60s right now, but over the next few hours, we're actually going to be increasing our temperatures due to a couple of reasons. One, from a warm front that could be moving into our area, and two, from some cloudy conditions, which you can pick up here on radar right now. We're going to see these last into the evening, especially as that chance for rain increases. You can see into Monday, even into parts of Tuesday as well, but we'll talk more about those rain chances in the full forecast. Like I mentioned, with that warm front, it's going to bring our temperatures up into those upper 80s here over the next few hours, but still remaining a little warm. Weather headlines are brought to you by our friends at CNC Wine and Liquor. We're going to see those showers continue and temperatures in the 60s and 70s remain as well, but stay tuned. We'll talk more about that and the major cool down coming to West Tennessee in the full forecast a few minutes away.
A grand milestone for the family of JonBenet Ramsey. December 26 marks 25 years since the 6-year-old was murdered. The little girl was found dead by her father in the basement of their Colorado home the day after Christmas in 1996. A coroner said she died of asphyxiation due to strangulation and ruled her death a homicide. Her parents, who said they found a kidnapping ransom note, were the initial suspects. The couple were cleared of suspicion in 2008, but that was 2 years after JonBenet's mother, Patsy, died of cancer. Sunday, police said they are actively using new technology to enhance the investigation and check regularly for DNA matches in order to solve this case, which remains unsolved. Around the world, South African leader Archbishop Desmond Tutu has died. Desmond Tutu was known as the voice of an anti-apartheid struggle in South Africa. In 1984, he was given the Nobel Peace Prize for his role in South Africa's campaign to end apartheid. He went on to chair South Africa's post-apartheid Truth and Reconciliation Commission. Tutu was also extremely vocal on global issues. In 2012, he called for former British Prime Minister Tony Blair and former U.S. President George W. Bush to be prosecuted for their actions around the Iraq War. Even in his later years, Tutu addressed a wide range of issues, including the civil war in Syria, climate change, and the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. Leaders from around the world have been paying tribute, including former Presidents Carter and Obama, Pope Francis, and British Prime Minister Boris Johnson. Archbishop Desmond Tutu was 90 years old. Across the southeast, a Carnival cruise ship saw a small outbreak of coronavirus has returned to port. The Carnival Freedom ship returned to Miami Sunday. The ship left Miami on December 18th and stopped in Curacao on Tuesday. But the cruise line said a small number of people tested positive for COVID-19. Its plans stopped in the Caribbean islands were canceled after being denied entry. At least 4 ocean cruise ships were turned away from ports of call or were prohibited from letting passengers disembark in the Americas this week because of COVID-19 cases aboard. 2 men who spent nearly 30 years in prison for a crime they said they didn't commit spent Christmas Day as free men. Eric Miller reports.
It's a new look for Leroy Sproul.
And then a lot of people asked me, "Are you playing Santa this year?" And I just said, "No, I'm not playing Santa this year."
No, but it's not the beard. It's a look of a free man. And he's not the only one.
But I'm glad to be out for Christmas, thank God.
Sproul and Brandon Jones were released in November after serving nearly 30 years behind bars for a murder they say they didn't commit.
It's really all a miracle we're even free. It's a miracle. If it hadn't been for Chris Munro and the Innocence Project, Actual Innocence Project, we wouldn't be talking today.
Jones and Sproul took Alford pleas, which allowed them to maintain their innocence while admitting there was enough evidence to convict. Since they got out, there have been new discoveries this holiday season. Smartphones, for one.
When I left, the cell phones weren't, really, I'm trying to learn a little bit about that.
But there were losses, too.
I came home, my mama's dead, my daddy's dead, my sister's dead, all my grandparents are dead.
I lost my mom, I lost my dad. Really tough, you know what I mean?
And while they're free, they say justice is a gift they're still waiting for.
Everybody needs justice. And that's not a big thing to ask for. Run that DNA through the database and go get the people who done this. I mean, not just for me, but for everybody involved.
Coming up, COVID cases continue to climb even more after the Christmas holiday. And we'll take a look at all the stars we've lost in 2021.
Does your business or company have positions to be filled? Let WBBJ help find the perfect employee for you. Contact us and we'll let our viewers know about your opportunity. Between both of our networks and our complete suite of digital products, we can get your message to the right candidate for you. Give us a call today at 424-4515.
In our Health Watch, for the second Christmas in a row, coronavirus has disrupted holiday plans for millions of Americans. The rapid spread of the Omicron variant forced the cancellation of hundreds of flights, and the lack of availability of COVID testing in many areas made it difficult for many families to gather safely. As CNN's Lucy Kafanov reports, the U.S. is now seeing levels of infection not seen since last January's devastating totals.
As Americans celebrated another Christmas during a pandemic, many saw holiday joy turn to frustration, with Omicron cases on the rise across the nation. Airlines canceling more than 1,000 flights this holiday weekend, citing COVID staffing shortages and bad weather, leaving passengers in limbo.
Oh my God, we won't be able to get home.
We've been constantly checking all kind of different websites, you know, the airport site, the airline sites.
We're not testing anymore.
From coast to coast on Christmas morning, those who did plan to see loved ones taking no chances.
My girlfriend tested positive earlier this week, and you know, it's Christmas morning. I'm just trying to go see my family, and you know, they're real COVID conscious. I'm vaxxed and boosted, but you know, we're trying to be safe.
I got tested because I'm seeing my family today.
That is those lucky enough to get a test.
The line goes all the way back there, but we've been here for about 2 hours.
Others saw their Christmas plans wiped out by a COVID diagnosis.
I tested positive for COVID, so it's currently just hanging out at the apartment with myself.
I was devastated that I was going to have to miss the holidays.
The surge in cases leaving many medical workers and personnel stretched thin with little to celebrate.
It's literally devastating and heartbreaking that we are in this condition that we are now.
Hospitals in the Twin Cities are overwhelmed and unable to take new patients because we're bursting at our seams already.
If you have a time for a prayer for frontline workers, I would do that.
To boost the depleted workforce, the CDC issued new guidance for vaccinated asymptomatic healthcare workers to slash their quarantine from 10 down to 7 days. Doctors hopeful that the Omicron wave will soon pass.
I am hopeful in that the data coming out of the UK and out of South Africa showing that these patients infected with Omicron are much less likely to be hospitalized and much less likely to be severely ill. And so that alone is giving me a little bit of faith that 2022 will be a meaningfully different year.
A hope likely shared by all on this Christmas weekend. Lucy Kafanov, Los Angeles.
In entertainment news, in 2021, the entertainment world has had to say goodbye to many artists, actors, and more. CNN gives us a look at memoriams of some of the most famous people who have died in 2021.
I enjoy what I'm doing. I truly enjoy it.
I really look like Doogie Howser.
And white, clean and bright.
I'm a comedian. I'm going to make fun of everybody.
Okay.
I'll be making fun of you when I leave here.
You know what? You got spunk.
Thanks. I'm Norm Macdonald, and this is the fake news.
Remember that our great strength is in our unity and in our diversity.
Happy to have you here, folks.
It's not very often in my life I've been without words.
What would you say to all those people that lost money, Mr. Mayor? What would...
Give it to you. He gon' give it to you. X gon' give it to you.
You never know where we'll be found, so you better get ready.
You got what I need.
Lay all your love in, don't let us put you in. Loving in our soul, and no money in our cold.
Started Ramona, and she has never reformed.
Well, winter is returning to West Tennessee after a warm start to our winter. But stay tuned. We'll talk more about what you can expect in the full forecast next.
Closed caption sponsored by the West Tennessee Hearing Aid Center. Better hearing, better living.
And now, Storm Team weather with Shaley Dawson.
Well, good evening, West Tennessee. It looks like we've had one dreary start to our day today. Had a little bit of dense fog this morning and doesn't look like conditions changed any, and it's just because of that misty feeling that we're getting outside. Rain showers aren't completely reaching the ground, but it's still moist enough outside to where you can feel it as soon as you walk out the door. But thankfully, some of that should be clearing up here lately, but the clouds outside are going to be staying, and we could be seeing a few showers pop up here, especially as that warm front continues to move north over the next few hours, which you can kind of pick it up here. So right over here we have that cooler air mass. You can see temperatures into those 50s towards St. Louis and Cincinnati, and down below we're seeing temperatures still into the 60s near Jackson, Nashville, even parts of Birmingham. But if we move in just a little closer, not quite in that cooler air yet. Most of us still into these 60s, especially as we're feeling that warm front start to move in here pretty shortly. Now, it's not going to do much of an impact on our temperatures, but we're definitely going to be seeing these rising temperatures through up midnight tonight before we finally get that little drop off. It's not going to be much of a drop, but going to remain pretty warm overnight tonight, especially into those upper 60s after about midnight. And with those increasing temperatures, rain chances are going to be increasing as well. You can see into Monday afternoon, even lasting overnight into Tuesday. We're going to see these rain chances really pick up here Monday afternoon, specifically around 3 p.m. But Futurecast will show you what I mean. So going to see a few of these scattered showers here, especially ahead of this cold front, or especially ahead of this warm front as it passes. And we'll see some more of these showers kind of pick back up because we have one more cold front moving back in tomorrow afternoon about 2:30. You can kind of see here, this is when we're going to see a lot of this, a lot of these showers really start to pick up in intensity. So we may see a few scattered showers early tomorrow morning, but they will be remaining pretty light. And then this cold front here is going to kind of play peekaboo over the next few days. It's going to move around the area, kind of hanging around here, this little northern tip right over West Tennessee. Really going to see it hang there over these next few days and even turn stationary. It's kind of hard to see here behind the banner, but you can see it's moving stationary, going to remain with us here at least until Wednesday. You can see still bringing some of these rain showers into our region. Now with that, finally, it's going to be moving past this Wednesday evening into Thursday morning, but we'll be bringing quite a bit of rain as it does move just well on across our area, around 1 inch to 1.5 inches of rain. But behind that, we've got some clearer conditions at least. Won't be completely sunny out there, but mostly sunny skies will be ahead. And going to see a pretty wet start to our week so far before that clear off with that high pressure on Thursday. And then rain chances increase once again Friday, Saturday, even into Sunday. But things are going to get a little cooler. Now, before we hit that, we are going to be having to deal with some of these gusty winds. You can see remaining into the 20s, even 30s over the next few days. Not going to be much of a change into Tuesday, even into Wednesday. So it's going to be wet, it's going to be windy, and it's going to be warm. Keep that in mind as we go on throughout the week. But that cool down is coming in Thursday. We've got another major cold front moving back into our area, and then another warm up coming in this weekend. But by next weekend, we should be having some cooler weather. Now tonight, going to be a little warm into those 60s. Tomorrow, still remaining into those 60s, not much of a change going on. Now we're going to take one last look at that 7-day forecast. You can see brought to you by our friends at Bill Law, but stay tuned. We'll talk more about that in the final forecast ahead.
The weather is kind of odd today. It was actually a little drizzly, but not too much. It's just, I don't know what's going on today.
It's that kind of mist outside. Like it's not raining, but it's just in the air, and it's kind of I hate driving. I hate being outside in this kind of weather because it's just there. Like it's not completely raining. It's not dry. Like I just want it to be over with. I call that the annoying rain. So when I refer to the annoying rain, that's exactly what I mean.
Exactly. Well, coming up, U.S. air travel saw a surge Christmas Day, but was it on a pre-pandemic level? And why you may notice an increase in how much you pay for home insurance.
All over West Tennessee, people are involved in extraordinary public service, often inspiring others into action.
Multiplying Good recognizes individuals who use their talents to improve the quality of life for others.
Successful Multiplying Good nominees receive the Jefferson Award and are honored in an annual ceremony.
If there's a good neighbor in your community truly making a difference, we want to celebrate them.
And locally, we are looking to you to nominate that student in action or seasoned volunteer who embodies the power of public service.
Here's a look at the community calendar brought to you by Collision Specialists and Fun Zone with Three Rivers Mini Golf. This has been the Community Calendar, brought to you by Collision Specialists and Fun Zone with Three Rivers Mini Golf.
'Tis the season to celebrate The Big Bang Theory.
In our Consumer Watch, U.S. air travel saw a surge Christmas Day, but it did not reach pre-pandemic levels. The Transportation Security Administration reported that more than 1.5 million people were screened at airport checkpoints Saturday. That's higher than the 1.1 million people the agency says it screened on Saturday of Christmas week last year. However, it's well below the nearly 2.5 million people who were screened in 2019. This year, the TSA says it screened more than 2 million people at airports across the country on Thursday, December 23rd, which was the high mark of the week. But airlines have canceled thousands of flights going into the Christmas weekend, including over 1,000 U.S. domestic flights, as staff and crew call out sick during the Omicron surge. Home insurance premiums for the new year appear to be rising faster than inflation. According to the Insurance Information Institute, the average homeowner may see a 4% increase on the cost of their homeowner's policy for 2022. In fact, since 2017, premium rates are up more than 11% on average, which means they are rising faster than inflation. Factors such as natural disasters and rising costs for raw materials like lumber and supply chain issues are making the replacement cost for a home soar. In some states, insurance costs are rising faster than others.
Well, coming up next, we're going to take one last look at that 7-day forecast and tell you how you can prepare for the week coming ahead.
With greater detection range and more detailed imagery, Storm Tracker 7 Max radar brought to you by Garrett Plumbing and Heating Company, your local Carrier dealer. Carrier, turn to the experts.
Merry Christmas and happy holidays.
From the crew here at WBBJ on midday.
It could be a very Merry Christmas for someone this year. Saturday night's Powerball drawing had an estimated $410 million up for grabs. There hasn't been a jackpot winning ticket in the last 34 drawings. Saturday's numbers were 29, 45, 58, 55, 27, and the Powerball was 2. No word yet on any winners. The prize will continue to climb if no one hits the jackpot. The next drawing is Monday. Shaley, $410 million. What are you doing with it?
Okay, I know we've done this once before. Last time I said student loans. That is obviously going to be like my number one. But I have an answer now. I would definitely go on a trip. I don't know where to yet, but that's like, just go on a nice trip. You know, treat yourself, especially in winter, somewhere tropical.
With that type of money, you can go on any trip of your dreams. Any trip.
That's what I'm saying. Like, take 2-3 months, just disappear. That would be what I do. I don't know about you, but that just sounds like heaven.
For me, it's the Mercedes-Benz G-Wagon. I say it every time. Number one.
Definitely say that every time. Well, this week looks like we do have a wet start to our week. Rain almost continuing throughout the week. As you can see there, a slight drop off on Thursday, but rain continues with a cool down Sunday.
Thank you so much for joining us. We'll see you at 10.